Well, they call them the Robin Hood traders. It's private investors that want to access the stock market and trade by the day with small amounts. Here in Australia, we have the recently launched Superhero to do it all manually. But what if you want to begin trading without doing the hard yards? That's the gap Jaaims wants to fill with a fully automated trading app. Founder and CEO Tui Eruera Jaaims joins us to discuss. Sorry, I butchered your name just then. I'm so sorry.
That's okay, many people do.
So tell us about Jaaims. Tell us about the company and the AI technology that you've developed.
Sure.
What's it doing?
So Jaaims is an automated trading application which uses a AI-based algorithm to derive buy and sell recommendations on around 1,000 equities in Australia, US, UK and Germany. And then we apply those recommendations on behalf of our customers by executing trades with their preferred broker. So we do the buying and selling for them. So no touch. All they do is to set the equities they want Jaaims to analyse, and then we do the rest.
Okay, so if you're looking at, you got your stock board up and you're just going, I like X, 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 just pick them all, and then you can say when it's good to get in, when it's good to get out.
Yep. That's right. So when you set up an account, you connect your broker. So we work with 3 partners at the moment, being IG, Saxo Markets, and Interactive Brokers. And once you've connected, you then create a portfolio. So you go through all the equities that we analyse, and you select a portfolio of 20, and then Jaaims will analyse those equities for you 24/7. So we like to say it's like having 1,000 analysts in your pocket managing your portfolio.
And are there different levels of, subscription here, where you may have some users that are taking the information, the buy, hold, sell recommendations, and then acting on it themselves, or do you always go through the full process for a customer?
Yeah, so we've got 3 types of subscriptions, and it's all based on how many equities you want Jaaims to analyse and how much funds you want to invest with Jaaims. But effectively, you create the portfolio of shares. And then you can actually act on those decisions on your own, or you can select what we call pre-approval. So before Jaaims executes a trade, it'll send you an SMS message, and then you can go approve. So you can either do it manually or you can do it automatically.
Now give us some guidance as to sort of who the clients are. So is it the younger, is it the Robin Hooders, or is it the more sophisticated institutionals? Like where does your client sit?
Look, we're getting both at the moment. So there's definitely been a huge growth in millennial retail investors. But now we're actually starting to see a bit more diversification in age. So some of our people are around 18, 20, and we've got some people older than 50, 60. So it's appealing to different markets depending on your level of knowledge and what you want from the technology as well.
And have you got any kind of data on how your trades, your recommendations are performing versus the market?
Yeah, it's hard to benchmark against the market because all our customers have individual portfolios, so each portfolio performs a bit differently. But at the moment, we're averaging a 4.99% return on a winning trade, and on a loss, we're losing about 1.1%. So they're sort of the 2 benchmarks that we use at the moment. I had a look at the report for this month. For all our current customers, they're up about 1.2% for the month.
And is it big money that these people are trading in, or is it smaller end? Like how big are the trades we're talking about?
So generally our customers start small to get confidence with our technology, and then we sort of see them ramp up their investment. So generally people start with around about $5,000 at the moment, and our highest investor at the moment has around about 200,000 using Jaaims at the moment.
Wow.
And run us through the fees. So you mentioned before you've got a couple of different levels of subscription.
Yeah. So our subscription starts from $49 a month, and it varies up to $399 a month. So the $49 a month gets you to have 5 equities that we analyse, up to $25,000. The standard, which is the most popular, allows you to have 20 equities in your portfolio, trade up to $250,000, but it's got these indicators that are probably the tool that everyone loves most. So we have these trade indicators to help you pick better portfolios. And then our professional, which is $399, allows you to trade up to $25 million, but also it's got automated stock selection, which takes the hassle out of people who don't want to pick stocks and they want Jaaims to do it for you.
Well, and as you said before, they can pick stocks across Australia, New York, London, and Germany. Explain why those markets. The German one particularly intrigues me.
Well, it's just the major markets. So you've got the DAX, the FTSE, the New York Stock Exchange, the NASDAQ, and the ASX. With our technology, it relies on data. So we absorb data from around about 250 different news sources to around 10 million pieces of data. And so we only use highly liquid stocks because that's where the data is. So there's lots of information about Apple, for instance, but if we got a smaller stock, say on the ASX, that had a valuation of 10, 15 mil, there'd be not much data around, so our AI can't really analyse that stock effectively. So that's why we've always maintained like the high-end, high liquid stocks.
And run us through your growth plans over the next, say, 12 months. Is there a particular customer segment that you're going to be focusing on, or is the priority adding extra features like you mentioned earlier?
Look, the priority is obviously always listening to our customers to continue to innovate the product. But for us, it's staying true to our base, which is millennial investors and sophisticated investors short on time. So we're in Australia now. We plan to move into the UK, Europe in 2021, and then the US in 2022.
And of course, it's AI. So explain to me, how does that work exactly when it comes to, does it do it better than a person? I guess is one of the questions we've got to ask.
That's the question. So we use AI in two ways. The first one is to understand what we call unstructured data. So traditionally with computers, you only understand structured data like in an Excel spreadsheet. Through unstructured data, we can understand voice. So how we're talking today, our technology can analyse that and derive a sentiment from CEOs and people who speak about the company. And then the second way is that we've effectively taught the AI to trade. So using all the strategies that it has at its fingertips, it essentially analyses and applies that strategy really, really quickly and then decides what strategy to use for its recommendation.
Run us through who's supporting the business in general. Have you worked with investment partners along the way? If not, are you looking to take on investment as you build out the business?
Sure, so we have. So we've gone through friends and family, pre-seed, seed. So we've raised about $1 million so far. Our goal at the moment is 1,000 subscribers by December, which takes us into cash flow positive. And then we're going to start a Series A raise, which will be between $5 and $8 million.
Wow. And with that funding round, do you see an IPO in the future, or are you just sort of going to just keep happening and see what you get?
I'm all for private. I'm all for private, so we'll stay private as long as we can. Obviously, we're open to all different types of opportunities, but we are really focused on getting into the UK, Europe market, US market, staying true to that, and then sort of deciding from there where we go.
Very exciting. And before you go, can we just ask what is the most looked up stock on your platform? What are people wanting to trade?
It would be Apple and Afterpay.
Interesting.
That makes sense.
Yeah. Look, Tui, thank you very much for coming in and telling us about Jaaims. Can't wait to follow that one.
Excellent. Thank you.
Thank you.